I am super excited because I have with me on the show today Torin Ellis, the founder, of course, of the Torin Ellis brand. Thank you so much for coming on. Give me just a quick background. What do you guys do at the Torin Ellis brand?
Yeah, so Joe, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for trusting my voice on your platform. What we do is we focus on organizations that authentically care about the stakeholder. Our main effort is central to how do we help organizations embed, operationalize diversity and inclusion efforts.
I'm really excited to have you on because AI adoption is kind of top of the list for HR teams, HR professionals, right? The edict has come down that they've got to be more productive. Their headcount is decreasing in a lot of companies. And so it's really kind of a make or break moment in HR to start adopting and utilizing AI, much more so in the past, as HR has typically been a laggard in technology adoption. But as this is happening, there are biases that are being uncovered in AI systems, AI programs. And so I'd like to really dive into that topic with you. So just to kind of level set here, what is bias in AI? What does it look like, and how do companies actually discover if this is taking place in their AI systems?
Yeah, so the first thing that I want to do is just double tap on something that you said, HR being a laggard in technology adoption. That's part of the reason why we wrote the report, Reducing Bias in HR Using Artificial Intelligence. Part of the reason, Joel, why we wrote the report is because we understand and have a deep degree of respect for the importance, the criticality that HR brings to the equation. And if you look at any of the Gardner reports and so many of the other management consulting firms that have done research and surveys, HR has always struggled with technology adoption. And so we wanted to see if we could get more HR professionals involved in the decision-making in the deployment of artificial intelligence rather than sitting on the sideline. That's the first thing that I want to say. So I don't want us to be a laggard. I want HR to be very much so at the table, if not leading the conversation. That's the first thing. In terms of bias, it surfaces and manifests in a variety of different ways. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I can't remember who was using facial recognition. I don't want to call out an organization, but Congress several years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, went through a facial recognition exercise, and a good percentage of them were classified as, let's just say, nefarious felons or having some sort of an infraction. And the members of Congress that were Black or brown were categorized at an even higher. I've gone into men's facilities in airports and restaurants, and I've placed my hands up under the machine to get a paper towel, and it didn't recognize the skin tone of my hand until I turned it over palm up. That's a form of bias being programmed in machinery that we are using. As it relates to resumes and compensation and so many other ways inside of the workplace, bias manifests in a number of different ways. And so what I want is for people to understand, if we have used tainted, slanted data to develop whatever that solution is, then we are perpetuating tainted and slanted result as we move forward in deployment. And so I just want us to examine, re-examine in some instances, how was a solution developed, and then how are we deploying it in our organization? And then last but not least, what are we doing to measure and recalibrate appropriately?
I think that's so important, and especially the point that you made about HR becoming an active participant in the development and deployment of AI instead of sitting back passively and just accepting all of the systems that are being fed to them. HR needs to have a voice in how the systems that they're using, the AI that they're going to be expected to deploy, actually operates, and ask these critical questions that might not have been addressed in the development of these systems.
Absolutely.
So follow-on question to that, let's say a company is adding some systems to their stack. What does the process look like for companies to actually do a deep dive to see if there are biases within these systems?
Yeah, so I think one of the things is to make sure that the system has a reason for being explored. Is there a solution that we are trying to get to, or are we having this discussion around this particular technology or application because it's the next shiny thing? So I think that application inside of the organization and what that measured outcome looks like is a great place for us to start. I think that we should always make sure that we are considering solutions that are human-centered, where technology is a coefficient. It's a complement to the process. Listen, I'm in no way suggesting that my mind works faster than a computer chip or an AI solution, but I do want to have my mind involved in the final decision, whether it be a candidate, whether it be a promotion, whether it be what type of curriculum is available to us through learning and development. I want my mind to be a part, Joel, of the solution of what benefits are we offering our workforce, our stakeholders. And we know that single mothers may need different benefits than married mothers. And we know that individuals that are caring for parents need different benefits than those that are in their early 20s. I want my mind, that human-centered posture, to be a part of the AI solution process. And then the last thing that I think is important is that the solutions that we deploy or that we consider deploying, they are ethical, that they are protective of our stakeholder. You notice that the theme for me is, how are we making life better for every employee inside of our organization? And I want that to be one of the more prominent takeaways from our recording today, is that diversity and inclusion is about everyone. It's not just race and gender, it's everyone. It's all of the dimensions inside of our organization. And so I think that we have a responsibility, a gigantic responsibility, to make sure whatever solutions we are exploring and thinking about deploying, that they take care of our stakeholder.